Oh, yeah. Famous music video? Do the words part. You singing this? I'm gonna start singing the words. Cut all this out. What is up? Thank you for joining Jomboy and Jake Radio. It is February 21st, Thursday, and we're coming to you live from Tampa on this fine Thursday morning. Couldn't do the night recording last night. We're too exhausted. So we're coming to you this morning like normal.
We were tired.
Got a good night's sleep.
Got a good night's sleep, and so we're less tired. That's how that works.
I just, the Metallica song really woke me up because watching the music video is equivalent to having a seizure, I think.
That's, I mean, what is that, early 90s?
I would guess, yeah.
I mean, that's an early 90s. They're doing some camera stuff there that I feel like in the early 90s was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Strobe light effect, I'd call it.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's like a
bitchin' song. Did Metallica write the song, the Bed of the Day song?
I don't know.
Those are a couple bitchin' tunes.
I don't know if I'd like that if it wasn't associated with Mariano Rivera.
You probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
What other early 90s, like, rock songs are you going to do?
None. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's a bitchin' song.
You're absolutely right. The song was really dumb, though, because it's not, doesn't go with the theme this week.
It does. Walk up songs, walk out songs, same thing.
Walk up songs.
I don't know if he said walk up songs.
Well, I'm going to need a clarification on that. You've been telling me walk up songs.
I think it was just Yankee Player songs.
Well, then there's a chance it flies. But you've been saying walk up songs. So I need a correction from someone.
Entrance
I just
music.
need the
Player's entrance music.
No one's...
The theme was,
I need to see the messages.
Well, I'm going to clear it up for you. The theme was made knowing Mariano was going to be the fourth song. It was the first thing chosen.
Right.
So then the wording might have got slipped up along the way, but the theme was knowing that Metallica was going to play. He asked me. I said, "You got to put it in." It's the one song that people really associate with the Yankees player.
I thought, how do we say that was the one song if that was the initial leadoff song you guys picked? I got to see the transactions here. Someone's head will be on a stake.
It looks like it's yours.
You done messed up.
No, it's a good song. Good song because I like Mariano.
It's one of the best closer songs. We did this. I forget if it was Yanks or on here, but Mariano Rivera, Sandman.
You know he doesn't like the song. He's like, He's like, when I hear that song, I don't think of anything. I don't associate it with myself. The fans associate it with me. I don't really like that song.
Yeah. Why do you have the nickname Sandman? You said this the other day.
No, I was wrong. So we did some deep research. Francesa used to say it was because he was asleep in the bullpen, and the Sandman, Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. So they called him the Sandman with his nickname. But then they asked the PR guy, and there's this whole article somewhere that did it, and they were in charge of stadium music, which is a weird job.
Yeah.
Like what to play after home runs, what to do, all that. And they were trying to find a song that would pump up the crowd, and they ran through a couple.
Nice.
And then they got Sandman, and the crowd responded to it, so they just kept it.
That was before player egos. Egos.
Yeah, I mean, if Mariano chose his own music, I don't think it might have got him personally like pumped up, but the crowd wouldn't be like, oh.
It would have been some fun Panamanian reggaeton or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's why it was the perfect closer song. It got the crowd juiced up.
Oh, yeah.
It got the other team messed up. And Mariano's just like, I kind of hate this fucking song.
Yeah. It's a little in
I am not excited.
It's a little in your face for me. I'm a much more relaxed guy.
I've got a good Panamanian fishing soundtrack I want to throw on.
You try this one. Try this.
Sitting on the dock of the bay in Spanish.
Well, Wild Thing. Great closer song.
Morning sun.
Didn't Grant Balfour have one? That was crazy.
San Francisco Bay. All right, Mariano, cut it.
Yeah.
This is terrible.
Even that song, Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, when you listen to the lyrics, it's depressing.
Wouldn't it be a bad closer song? Wouldn't it get the crowd so much into it?
I don't know. Any song,
but wasting time, you're kind of saying the hitters are wasting time.
Yeah. Otis Redding was saying he was wasting time with his life. He was very depressed.
We all are, Otis. Thank you.
Nice. Okay. What else do we got?
Even
Jake and I had a time last night at Duffy's in Tampa.
Yeah. What do we need? What do we need to run through? What's the
All right, let me do
spring training synopsis.
No one cares. We did that all on Talking Eggs. I want to tell them about the waitress yesterday.
Right, but that's not how this kind of totally works. Okay.
Waitress yesterday was the most drunkest woman ever. She walked up to Jake and mine table, drinking a drink.
Sure. Didn't
hand us menus.
No.
Didn't say the words hi or hello.
Nope.
Just walked up and said, "What do you want?"
Yeah. What do you want without an emphasis on the what? And we should also say, and this is why I wanted you to paint a little picture, Jim. This was at like 9:30 at night. We got there midway through the Duke game. We wanted to go out to watch the Duke Carolina game somewhere, and we were working on stuff. We did Talking Yanks yesterday. Our buddy Nick FaceTimed us, and we were doing silly stuff, and that was fun. So all right, we're running kind of late. Neither of us had a real meal.
No.
All day. We each had like a power bar. I had some oatmeal, had a leg up. So so we're at 9:30.
And your power bar was much more filling.
I had a power bar because I'm a powerful guy. We went to one place that got recommended, Bahama Joe's, Bahama Mamas,
Bahama Breeze.
Which had decent vibes. It was on the water. There was some live music. The live music was way too loud. I couldn't hear a thing. So that ruled out the outside area. And then we came inside, and the bar was like very much not a hang out and watch a game bar. So it was like fight or flight. And it was like, let's go. This is risky. This ends up with us getting weird meals and me getting a funky drink that I don't like. Let's just go to like a sports bar. So we had the Duffy's. And so we're like, all right, we'll sit in the bar area, couple guys watching a game. And that's when the waitress interaction, what do you want? Excuse me, miss? So I did the casual, like, a couple waters would be great. And then are there any beer specials? Like, bing, just nailed it. And she goes, this is 2 for $5. And it was like, okay. We looked at her like, because that doesn't mean anything for us. And she's like, yeah, you could get 2 furs on Wells and some beers and some mixed drinks, all drinks.
She was either
she walked away.
Either brain dead or very drunk. Jake, I was like, Jake, let's go back to the host stand and say we want a table on the floor and not sit at the bar because I can't deal with that waitress. We couldn't do it. Yeah,
and it was one of those weird freezing pockets. Like that one table in the restaurant was just freezing. Yeah, so after she went missing for a while, she was clearly drunk. We're like, all right, we got to bail on this plan. Went back up to the host. The host was a little, At first, he was kind of stern with us. He was like,
I think he was a manager that was participating on all.
Yeah, he got subbed in, so he's a little happy that or unhappy that he had to be subbed in because his waitress was blackout drunk. And then so he seated us, and he was like half disappointed in us. He's like, "Wow, you guys stuck it out at the bar that long, and now you're gonna bail?" Like it was almost like a shot at us. Then we sit down. He takes our drinks. He takes a while with the drinks because I don't think, again, that's in his line of responsibilities. We realize we're now at the girls' table that was supposed to be taking care of us at the bar. So now we're doing do we leave again? Do we leave a second restaurant? We're not picky at all. We just want some bar food and maybe a beer. Comes with the beer. We do Jimmy gave him can we please order it?
Yeah. Well, I was like, next time someone talks to us, we need to order.
Yeah.
And that wasn't her. So I was like, can we order with you? And he was like,
please.
He was like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. And then once we came out with our aggression, he was into us. He was like, okay, you guys are really sticking us out tonight. I respect that. And the food ended up being pretty good.
Yeah. And so that's the end of the drunk.
And then we had another waiter take us over after that. The waitress was tapped out.
It was fun watching her walk around.
Yeah. Jim saw other tables gossiping about her.
She handed the bill to a couple, and they just went over with a fine-tooth comb. Like, there's
no way this is right.
No way this is right.
So, yeah, go to Duffy's in Tampa.
Highlight of my night was Jake's tweet that has since been deleted because the general public doesn't like good humor.
Yeah.
But I was melting on the other side of the booth because I thought it was hilarious.
You were melting. We were starting to get into that tired, silly mode for sure.
Aubrey Huff and
it's on our topics.
Oh, okay.
It's on the national news. But yeah, Aubrey Huff, former MLB player, went off the deep end and just sent us into a spiral. And we'll talk about that a little bit.
Okay, let's go straight into the Tri-State Update. Landon Collins cleans out his locker, probably done with the Giants. Richmond beats Fordham 72-69. UConn women beat Memphis 104-45. 104-45.
Yep.
Islanders lose to the Flames, Fortitude. St. John's loses by 19 to Providence. Sorry, Albert. NBA returns. Tim's Nets host the Trailblazers. There was a fun Zach Britton Boone story from a couple days ago. A-Rod's at the Mets camp.
It gets more bizarre the more I think about it.
A-Rod is at the Mets camp dressed for winter when it's clearly above 85 degrees. And, God damn it, Jim Boeheim hit a guy in his car that died.
Play this out. I'll save you from the Jim Boeheim thing. Not that guy.
You can't just say Jim Boeheim kills a guy.
He does. That's like the actual headline that the Syracuse papers are doing because he did. He was driving on the highway last night, and there was a guy on the road.
Yes, but I mean that's like absolutely horrendous. That guy did suicide by highway, and Jim Boeheim happened to be a random driver.
They don't know yet. They don't know. The car was apparently pulled over. I think there was other people there, so they don't know if it was like they were flagging for help or they drunk. But kind of crazy news for a Syracuse team that had beat Duke this year. They were looking for the tournament, so that's kind of breaking news this morning from
it's not really in the Bible.
JJR. But yeah, now we're going to get away from it. But something you should know and watch out for and be careful on the highways.
I know someone who hit a guy that was suicide by walking.
Right.
And I saw the aftermath of when you are the person that were driving the car that just was randomly someone jumped in front to end their life, and now you will have to deal with the damage. So I am sensitive to if that's what happened to Boeheim.
Yeah,
that's why I wouldn't want to read it kills a guy.
Well, that's why. We're done talking about it, but yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out because I mean Boeheim was at the end of his Syracuse career, and the tourney season's coming up, and I mean we're talking about a lot of things. Like, can Jim Boeheim go to jail and stuff? And what does this do to him mentally? He's just an older guy. So let's get away from it and talk about. And I think of all the ridiculous stories, A-Rod at Mets camp, you'd think that wouldn't jump out, but the more I think about it, it's one of the most ridiculous things I can think of.
Well, no, he works for Fox Baseball and ESPN Baseball, so he's probably just on location doing a show.
Is he, though?
That's what I would have guessed.
Haven't seen the show yet. So I hope so.
Or does he live in that part of Florida?
I mean, A-Rod lives in every part of Florida. He's Miami.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, he went to the U, kind of. A-Rod...
I'm more concerned with he's wearing 2 long sleeve shirts and 85 degrees.
Yeah, he's wearing a nice Thanksgiving Christmas outfit to go to Met spring training camp, which is a hilarious A-Rod move. But he's in spring training mode. Like, we saw the players, they're wearing those heavy pullovers because they're in spring training mode and they want to sweat.
Yeah, they're lighter.
A-Rod's doing the same thing.
It's just so sweaty.
A-Rod's a creature of habit. Like, spring rolls around, A-Rod wants to be doing the same stuff.
As part of his ESPN show, Pivot. So yeah, this filming.
Pivot?
Hey, I have
that. Is it a new ESPN show? Because I've never seen or heard of Pivot.
Yeah, I guess so.
Did A-Rod just make up the show so he could go to Mets game?
Probably.
And he was doing some silly stuff. He was hanging out with Cano and calling him like was he calling him his brother or his son or something like that, or his pupil?
I didn't see that.
And until Bryce Harper signs, here's a little fun fact, Jim. The top 5 MLB contracts ever, all signed by Dominican guys.
That's good.
Yeah.
Get paid.
Good relations with them. But, yeah, if you had A-Rod wearing a nice winter holiday outfit at spring training, at Met spring training, I mean, there's just some ridiculous irony. The guy truly does love baseball so much.
Yeah,
he's just kind of a weird guy.
It's funny because Jeter didn't love baseball,
right?
In the same way, like Jeter says he never watched a game that he didn't play in, and then he went to hang out with A-Rod one time, and A-Rod had the MLB package and multiple TVs and every game on, and Jeter was like, "What the fuck, man? You're a sick fuck."
Love A-Rod. What a weirdo. You want to hit the Britton Boone story real quick?
It's a little
synopsis.
Yeah, it's a little dated. Boone protected Britton in the last year's ALCS. We won't get into the decision making at all, but it's cool to hear when managers protect players because they got Britton for only a short while. They traded for him last season. He was on the Yankees just for the end of the season. Then he was going to become a free agent, and he was bad in August, good in September. And he injured himself in the playoffs. No one knew this. He needed to get an MRI and couldn't pitch game 3. And Cashman gave Boone the green light. You can tell the media about this.
Right.
And Boone, being a former player, immediately said, I don't want to ruin his free agency because if people know that he's hurt going into the offseason, he might get less money. And that's a really nice move. And Britton respected the hell out of it and was like, that's classy as fuck.
Yeah. How many first-year managers would do that? And like we talked about, ties into Boone being a player and stuff. But yeah, it's a nice little story that leaked out. I guess.
And it didn't affect his free agency that much because the Yankees were the highest bidder.
And maybe that was some of the strategy by the Yankees. Like, well, I think it'll help bring him back.
I think everything the Yankees do is to help bring people to them.
Yeah. Business. NBA returns. Tim's Nets hosting the Trailblazers. They're going to make that final part of the season playoff push. St. John's loses by 19 to the Friars. Alberts, you're both lumped in. Hello, McFly. I think St. John's is fine. Islanders lose to the Flames.
Okay, let's go.
Boring. You don't talk UConn women?
Oh, not you have a show for that. I don't want to hear a thing about it.
I'm talking UConn women. You're gonna have to play the sound effect again. I do Talking Huskies podcast. KT Sharp, go check it out if you want a college basketball team to look into. Jim, so UConn left the Big East, joined the American Athletic Conference.
Mm-hmm.
The UConn women have never lost an American Conference game. Undefeated lifetime in conference.
None of those stats impress me because it's so lopsided.
Like, there's some parity this year. You're missing out.
Between what, 4
UConn's got 2 losses.
Oh, all that parity.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Do you want me to play the noise again?
Yep. North Carolina, come on and raise up, take your shirt off, and then line your head like a helicopter. The Tar Heels go into Duke Cameron Indoor Stadium, and they take on the Duke Blue Devils, and they beat them bad. Zion, the last Zion, gets hurt in literally the first play of the game, 9 seconds in. His sneaker came out. Turn on any sports outlet, and you will see it instantly. As we mentioned earlier, Aubrey Huff started losing his mind on Twitter, got into an interaction with Keith Law. That's one of our favorite things ever. Georgia, them dogs, lose a game because of a fan. Literally, fan gets a technical. Georgia loses the game. Jim was in disbelief about that run. I hate Seton Hall. LeBron, intensity level activated for the rest of the season. Cool, man. We're 2/3 of the way through the year. Emotions could push Philly to sign Bryce Harper.
They're saying
what's going on with that?
You started screaming. I had to lower the volume.
Just that first one, North Carolina.
Emotions are pushing Philly, not money or the need for a good player.
Well, I thought that's what I want to talk about. So everything's turned because Machado got the money he asked for and nobody expected it. So now everyone's like, who's going to make an emotional decision to sign Bryce Harper? So now whoever signs Bryce Harper, it's not because they wanted him and they had him on their radar. It's like, whoa,
no response.
Machado. So like, just imagine being in the front office and being like, wait, so if I sign one of the best free agents ever, it's going to get called an emotional, unthought out decision? Like, what?
I really jumped on this.
Oh, God. We blew it. We signed him.
We want to talk about Zion's shoe? That's like one of the biggest stories.
It's the biggest story in the story. You want to talk about the shoe? How about all those hilarious shoe accounts?
Oh, my God. There's like 5 Zion shoe accounts already. I hate that aspect of Twitter. It's so unoriginal.
It's tough.
It's so unoriginal. Anyway, a Zion shoe is ridiculous. Didn't I have a theory last night?
You tell me.
I had a Goonies theory.
Okay.
The guy that was going up against Zion was it Matt May or something like that?
Luke May.
Luke May. I think he did the what's the kid from Goonies? I had this well thought out last night when I was in silly overtired mode, and now I'm not in silly overtired mood.
It's tough to find again.
It's tough to get into this. But Slick Shoes.
Slick Shoes
from the Goonies. You've seen the Goonies?
Yeah, I don't remember it well because
when they're crossing the wooden plank over the river, and he goes, "Slick Shoes, engage!" And then his shoes release oil, and then the bad guys slip and fall.
That's the theory.
Luke May did some Slick Shoes right where he knew Zion was going to plant his foot. But then I watched the highlight. That didn't even happen. Maybe he put down gum and the shoe got stuck.
Couple different things. Slick Shoes is in play. That was one of the first things I kind of jumped to because this rivalry has had like prank wars before. Like they've stolen jerseys and stuff. They've stolen like mascot heads because it's 8 Mile away. It's one of those like they tried doing some high school stuff and sometimes there's like 1 out of 10 is cool and the other 9 you're like, what are we really doing here?
So
I was wondering.
Someone razor bladed his
My brain kind of jumped there. I haven't heard anyone talk about it yet because the biggest thing is like nobody's really seen that happen to a shoe. This does tie into another thing, James, is that, well, everyone's doing the whole, Zion got hurt. Is he going to play again? Should he go to the NBA? How much money could he potentially lose? I don't know. I'm going to give a shout out to my guy, Kenny Poon, that we do some talking Knicks stuff with. And he said the only concern he has about Zion is how his body will actually hold up. And I know this is a shoe thing. But dude, like LeBron has had 0 injuries ever. Mm-hmm. Like he's a robot machine beast. And my buddy Kenny was saying like, like he's a freak and he's awesome, but like just 280 pounds, 6'7", like his whole life, basically. Like, what does that do to your joints and stuff like that? So I don't know. This could be nothing that gets laughed at in many years, or it could be like a body can't do this.
I'm hoping it drops him some picks, and then he gets to sue Nike for the damages that his shoe led to, because that's a fun saga. Nike's got to be shitting their pants. Like, it's like, honestly, I love when things like this are so funny and they become memes, but the real world effects for them. Zion was probably crying his eyes out.
I mean, I'm a glass half full. No, I think Zion. I think he knew it wasn't tore. If you saw the injury, it was weird, but it wasn't bad.
I don't know. Could have been a Boo Miles situation.
Boo Miles. I mean, I don't know if this is glass half full or just thinking we're all sheep. To me, this is just a future marketing campaign.
For who?
For Zion and Nike. You just
they're gonna team up.
Oh yeah, we're gonna say we had to make a stronger shoe. Like they show the clip in there, it's in black and white.
The Zion shoe, and it's just a fucking clunk of metal with chains.
Yes, I'm telling you, it's gonna be made out of like Teflon or something.
I like Sabotage because I've never seen a shoe ripped like that.
Sure.
People are like, well, Zion's big. Like, fucking Shaq wore shoes.
So let's say it's a mild knee sprain. He's out. He's traditionally out a week and a half. Would you like? I know it's impossible to do. Would you play?
He gets the yips. He can never trust shoes again.
Been there.
You're anti-trusting shoes.
Underwear.
Oh.
Underwear yips.
Yeah, I'd play.
Yeah, he's probably gonna play. He's built like a tank. He can still do some kind of legendary stuff in college. And they were this morning. They were talking about guys that have gotten hurt and missed like their full rookie year. And it's not an impressive list, but there is a list. So I don't know. Zion's gonna be fine. And I got some compliments, Jim, from my ticket sales #1 pick thing. People were like, "Yo, that's like so true." So I felt smart for a little bit yesterday.
Nice. And then no one got to watch Zion play.
What a beautiful thing. Let's
to Keith Law and Aubrey Huff because it's my favorite storyline.
Favorite story of the year?
No, but it's my favorite Twitter action.
February 21st?
Favorite Twitter interaction of the year for sure. So Aubrey Huff.
Favorite national sports news of the year?
No, but favorite.
What do you have above it?
I got to figure it out, but I'm going to say this isn't it.
I think it is, but okay.
Keith Law is I like the lacrosse player that has his head too big for a helmet, almost beats this. That's a better story. Aubrey Huff was a baseball player. He's retired now, and he is an old grouch who hates all the new analytics.
He was a solid baseball guy. Corner infield, corner outfield. Wasn't great defensively. Had a couple pretty solid hitting years, if you're not familiar.
His stats were similar to Machado's. He cherry-picked a bunch of stats that made him and Machado look like similar players before they hit free agency.
Right.
And said, like, how come I didn't get money? Blah, blah. Anyway, so he's going on this whole tangent, and people are responding to him and like, hey, swing, hard hit rate, all that.
They came at him with the analytics.
Launch angle. They're all, that's new. WAR. He's like, what the fuck is WAR? Are like real stats. And then out of nowhere, unprovoked.
Wait, before we get to Keith Law, I want to read his other one that I retweeted because I think that he goes Happy Gilmore on him. Aubrey Huff goes, where is it? Lost it. WAR, spin rate, launch angle. Who gives a shit? I'm a home run, average RBIs kind of guy. But most important thing, all these geeky new stats were invented by nerds that couldn't cut it in the big league. So he came out with the power play, and then he fully brought the dagger. He made a target.
I love how so out of the loop of like the internet and just public opinion he is, that he drops the nerds play and doesn't know that that's such a meme now.
Right.
Like people just say that jokingly, ironically.
He still thinks the nerds are the meme where he's actually being the meme.
Dude, this is how society has flipped. And this is another Cheers thing.
Right.
In Cheers, I talked to my parents about this. Sam Malone is like, he calls himself a babe hound.
Right.
And he sleeps with a different woman. And like everything he says to every girl is some sleazy pickup line. And I was like, Mom, Dad, when Cheers was out, was that like lame or was he cool? And they were like, no, he was the cool character.
Right.
Like you rooted for
him.
Yeah. And yes. And then nowadays it's like that's completely flipped where I watch him like Sam is pathetic. Like I think he's so lame. There's another side to him that I really like, but that side's so lame. Same thing with Aubrey Huff. He grew up in this time where the nerds were fucking nerds.
Right.
And he was the cool guy. And it's totally flipped now to where like, no, you're dumb jock. And
right.
having a brain is cool. And he's hasn't caught up. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And how life can just flip. So anyway, he tags Keith Law, who if you listen to Jomboy Radio from the beginning, I've had my run-ins with Keith Law.
Yeah, he's a little geeky, ornery.
I don't like Keith
scout.
Law.
Yeah.
But his Twitter bio, Keith Law's Twitter bio is like fun ruiner. So he knows who he is.
Yeah, he knows what he's bringing.
So Aubrey Huff tweets Keith Law and says, Keith Law is the poster child for the new era of pointless stat geeks. These guys weren't good enough to actually play baseball, but found a way to use irrelevant stats like launch angle and spin rate to be relevant and be around a game that didn't want them between the lines. And Keith Law's response.
Yeah. So Keith Law gets this, processes it, and says, hey, what am I going to do? Okay,
so out of nowhere, Keith Law gets tagged into this. Like, oh, shit, Aubrey Huff's drunk, and now he's now just tagged me. Like, people are expecting me to respond. Keith Law comes back with, you think an invisible sky fairy made people.
he went nuclear. That's what I said to you when you read that. Like, there's a lot of ways you could go high road, you could get in the weeds, or you could drop the nuke. And Keith Law went nuke because in Aubrey Huff's bio, the second word is like believer. So Keith Law went sky fairy on him.
And someone responded because I said this is my favorite interaction, and they're like, I don't like either of these guys. I'm like, me neither. They're both being so impressively obtuse and mean for no reason.
Yeah.
Just because they're bored on Twitter, they're just going to yell at each other. And then my favorite part of the whole saga has now been deleted from the internet.
Right.
Is Jake thought of a tweet to respond, a quote tweet, because he loved it so much.
We were laughing. We started laughing and getting silly, and I thought I had a funny response, but I was like, dude, this isn't mainstream funny, but like I think you'd like this.
I was sent into a 10-minute giggle fit.
Yeah, you were gone, which forced my hand, which I didn't want to tweet it. But basically,
do you want to read the tweet?
I said, I remember it.
Okay.
Not really. I said Aubrey Huff was never an all-star, but he did kiss my dad. So
you butchered it. Aubrey Huff also has zero. Aubrey Huff also has 0 all-star appearances and made out with my dad. So
yeah, so that's
kissing and making out, big difference.
And I was wondering what were going to be the ramifications here.
Made out with my dad.
Does Aubrey Huff get involved? And if he reads that tweet, what's he thinking about? Is he thinking about the time he made out with my dad? A couple people were confused by this. It's kind of this. It's a joke we have that kind of throws people off their heels because they're like, what? Because normally the joke would be, this is kind of where this conversation started. Like the old joke was like, oh yeah, dude, I banged your mom. So it's kind of taking that joke, putting it on its head, and being like, you made out with my dad. I was at the baseball game. Yeah, I turned to left field, and you were with my dad making out.
It's not mainstream because everyone was responding like, can you explain this? What did that one kid say to you? Like, oh, what's this about, Jake? And you're like, oh, I'm just trying to fight crazy with crazy. And he goes, I understand that, but what about him making out with your dad?
What about the dad making out part? Because that part kind of went unexplained.
Someone tweeted at me like, what's the story here? It was a 3-liker.
But you're kind of right. Like you talk about how you're watching Cheers and how Sam's character changed, and then I don't know if you watch a TV show like Workaholics, you see some weird, silly stuff and guys making fun of themselves to a degree. Like if there was a TV show in 5 years and we drop, like I think that could be a really good scene. Like if there's three guys and 3 guys at a bar and they're, do we fight these guys? What do we do? And the one guy on the douchey side is like, oh, well, I would fight, but I'm on my way to bang your mom. And
bang my mom? I saw you making out with my dad yesterday.
Like, I think that would be good. I think people would get that.
Yeah, it's good humor.
Okay.
but no one understood your tweet, which then made me laugh because we were like,
made you like it a little.
How many likes are we going to get on this tweet? And I think it was a hard 3-liker.
It was a 3-liker. 3-bagger.
Since been deleted because everyone actually thought Aubrey made out with your dad, which is actually the part that makes it funnier to
me. Yeah.
I like confusing people. It was a good time. Anyway, can we talk about let's pivot to UGA. It's tied. I think it was like.
I'll let you go with it. This shocked you.
I don't know what the score was. It's 67-67 with like 4 seconds left. And who was UGA playing?
They were playing another SEC basketball team, Mississippi State. I think.
So they're playing the other team. The other team's at the line to take the lead with a couple seconds left.
Right.
The free throw shooter, most pressure-filled free throw of his life, maybe. He misses it to keep the game tied.
Yeah.
As soon as the ball hits the rim, a fan throws a stuffed animal onto the court. It didn't affect his shot. It happened afterwards.
Yeah.
But a fan threw a stuffed animal onto the court, and they're like, what the fuck? Technical. He gets another shot.
Yeah.
They win the game.
Bangs it.
It's unreal.
Final, 68-67. Yeah, and this is
if this game mattered, if it wasn't these two teams, maybe it wouldn't have happened if this game mattered. But if you're like, here's all my thoughts. There's so many people that want to murder this kid.
Right.
And this kid has a great story. And maybe it was maybe it was a Mississippi State fan that did it.
Right.
Imagine if it was a Mississippi State fan that did it and he got his team the win. Just because it was in Georgia doesn't mean all the fans are Georgia fans. I'm actually now rooting that this was a Mississippi State fan and he got his team the win. Maybe he bet on the game. Maybe he had huge money on the game.
On Mississippi State to win.
Yeah.
So maybe it's worthwhile.
Yeah. There's a lot of ways. We need to find out who the guy was that threw it and why the reasons were. Because now I love it. If this guy, what if he changed his life? He had big money on Mississippi State winning, and he was panicking like crazy. Holy shit, I need to do something here. I need to take this into my own hands. Looks around the stadium, looks around the crowd, finds a little kid with a stuffed animal, rips it out of their hands, throws it onto the court. Everyone's like, what the fuck, dude? He's sweating bullets. He put his whole life saving on Mississippi winning, and the guy just missed the shot.
Yeah.
Now they get to redo it because they think it was a Georgia fan. They make the shot. That dude's life is not ruined. And he goes and buys the kid another stuffed animal. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so I never thought about the Mississippi State aspect because that's an all-time hero move. That leaks out. And
he's got a sick grandma that they can now care for.
You don't. Well, no, I didn't even get to the gambling yet. You're free beers for life in Starkville forever. You're the first ever non-basketball player to win your team a game. That's really impressive. The betting stuff is pretty wild because you're absolutely right, and that makes me think this rule is horseshit. Because like gambling's becoming such a prevalent thing. Like people could do this. Like this could become a regular thing if you start awarding free throws for stuff getting thrown on the court,
someone has the over.
It's actually worse than like the punishment.
Well, you should get if you bet the over and then bring a bunch of shit and just throw it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm saying, like, at first I was like, wow, I think everyone did something right. They threw some on the court. Guy got another free throw. That's what happened. And then I guess I was too far in Negativeville. I was like, okay, if a player does something dumb, like if this was just a player on the bench who got like a technical, was yelling at the referee, and the referee kind of took things into his own hands, called a T, they got another shot or something, like they would kill that player, kick him off the team. I can't wait for him to graduate, blah, blah, blah. That never happens with a fan. I wish you could do that with a fan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if this was just a legitimate Georgia fan having a bad time, like there's no way to just revoke his fanhood, be like, no, sir, you're.
Yeah, I think
even when you're at home, you can't root for us anymore. You lost us a game.
Yeah, in honesty, I think he was trying to make the dude miss his free throw, but he was late to the throw. But
idiot.
I like my theory a lot.
A lot of theories.
I like my story. Sick grandma stole the stuffed animal from a little kid, bought her a new one.
Maybe.
Got his money.
Probably got escorted out.
If they found him, he was really small.
In the fastest growing league, the best player said his intensity level has been activated.
Yeah, he always turns it on.
We're 2/3 of the way through the season.
That's how he's been doing it for a couple
people still
years.
like it. It's good. Good for everyone. I hate seeing all.
Yeah, because you lost. We have.
They lost.
You lost your bet.
They lost the bet.
And you did too.
For me.
Let's go into the golf.
Mm-hmm.
This weekend, we have the World Golf Championship in Mexico.
Your golf voice is ridiculous, by the way.
Guess who I picked?
I know who you picked. I'm looking at it.
It's on the screen.
Yeah.
I picked Tony Finau.
Yeah.
My backup is Tiger Woods in case Tony dies.
Who?
Tiger Woods.
You went with the T's.
Oh, all T team.
T team.
I picked Tony Finau because I did this at the last second because there was a lot going on in my brain all the time. And I forget exactly why I picked him. But there was some reasoning at the time.
Okay. Do you know what Finau looks like? He's kind of a funny-looking guy. The way you'd remember him, I forget if it was the Masters last year. I think he was the guy he hit a hole-in-one on the par 3. Like, well, he's really good in the Masters. If you remember that. Kind of a funny-looking guy, right?
Not really.
Looks like he's got a hammer.
Oh, yeah, he's got a big dick.
Big. He's a guy you look at and you're like,
you're right.
Something about his length and his, like, nose. Like, you just know that guy's.
You think it comes out by
that guy's got a
Tony Finau dick?
Stellar rig.
He's at a pick street.
Googled it. Oh.
Okay. Well, tight pants pick.
Nah. Yeah, that's a breeze. Go to the white pants pick.
Nah.
No, that's Rory. I don't know.
Yeah.
Good pick.
You like that pick?
Sure.
What did you take?
I feel like he's the kind of guy. He's the Ian Desmond of golf. What? Like if he has a big tournament, he has a big tournament. Like he'll be top 3 or he'll barely make the cut.
I forgot. Did you make a Puerto Rican Open pick?
No. Do we have? I don't think we have to. I think that's next week. It's just like you can make the pick now. Oh, it's listed as my first.
Yeah, there's 2. Shit.
We might have to delete that.
Why? Everyone else did it.
Okay.
What do you want to delete?
It's not like a real event. Like nobody cares about it.
People have picked. People got their picks in.
Okay.
Did anyone else pick Finau? I can't see the details.
It hasn't started yet.
Who'd you pick?
Thanks, Jim. So we got into some analytics, and I actually picked the other guy that popped up on your screen when we were looking at Tony Finau's wiener. Easy, Jordan Gag. It's not 2 events. It's the WGC. And there's 2 events. But I picked Rory McIlroy, because he's just going to win it. His biggest competition this week has been your biggest competition this week.
What's that? The sun.
Bingo.
Yeah.
If Rory's got someone applying his sunscreen and a strong enough SPF, he's going to win. But if he's doing it with his own hands, too greasy.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's not doing it, he's going to get cooked.
Mm-hmm.
Boy from across the pond.
I didn't do it with my. I had a lady spray me in the nose yesterday.
That was pretty nice. That was another. If we did like a silly, like moments in sports that not sports fans don't get that make sports awesome, like that would be on it.
A moment in sports that not sports fans don't get but would be awesome.
A moment in sports that non-sports fans don't get but are awesome.
Okay. Was when that lady sprayed
that lady was doing the total mom move of not asking your kid at all. Like it wasn't an option. The mom walked up to the kid and was just spraying him with sunscreen lotion. This isn't a conversation. Mm-hmm. You're getting dumped. We were just walking by and you went, "Oh, can I get a little bit on the nose?" She turned and she was ready to point and shoot. She was in your face.
Yeah, she almost.
And then she recoiled and she was like, "What if this is like a joke?"
she went right quick, like
she was done.
Get me. And then she paused and said, "Wait, are you serious?" And I was like, "Yeah."
You said, "Yeah," and then she sprayed it right on your nose. It was a very nice moment.
A human moment. Humans of Tampa. I'm going to put it in my book called Humans of Tampa. You know, they have Humans of New York, the website in the book. Humans of Tampa.
I bet Humans of Tampa is a thing. That was one of those popular things for a while.
Yeah, but
everyone was doing. Dude, people were doing like humans of the different airports and stuff.
Yeah, but the Humans of Tampa, just walking around finding people to talk to.
It's tough.
I don't think it exists.
See if it's an Instagram account.
Better today.
Whoa.
Better today. Jakey made a big mistakey. Jimmy saw it coming and got out of the way because it was stupid.
You cheated.
How'd I cheat?
What condition was I in when I made that pick? Tell the people.
Yeah, Jake doesn't remember anything from yesterday's show, but not because he was drunk or under the influence of anything. He was just very tired. Like Artie Cruz, he might be in the chat right now. Sometimes he is. He tweeted to me the next morning your quote and was like, "What was it? You're not something. You're failing. You're not recovering. You're failing." I forget what it was.
Okay.
But I told you the next morning that that is actually a good soundboard clip, and you had zero idea where.
I didn't know it was something I said.
Yeah,
it sounds like a great clip. I just didn't know I said that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been out of it for a little bit now. I'll take my loser, and I do remember saying this. I said it's the point in the season, and we actually saw it in that Mississippi State Georgia game. Georgia has one SEC win, and Mississippi State's a fringe tournament team. So it's that time of the season where you see are the teams going to give them a fight and make it a game and try to kind of ruin other teams' seasons, or is the other team going to make a push towards the finals? Mississippi State got their butt saved by someone gambling on the game.
My thing, Jake, and I don't know if you remember,
right?
Why I knew Xavier was going to give him a game,
right?
Because my classic formula, I found the team,
the redemption
game, and they got beat. They got blown out by Creighton,
right?
And then beat Creighton.
The Creighton factor was ridiculous.
They got blown out. They got blown out by Seton Hall. They fight back. It's a well tested theory.
It's dumb, but now I'm conscious again. So I will end the week with 3 winners.
You're actually you're 1 for your last 4. Which I think your hot stretch. This might be a break.
I'm also on 4 for my last 3, 4 and 3 in my last 7. So dead's still hot. Don't worry about that. Luckily the NBA is back, as is my brain cells. This is easy one. Quick free money. I'm going with the favorites. That's what Papi Gordo's best at. The 76ers are hosting the Heat -6. Philly is favored. The 76ers hosting the Heat. The 37-21 76ers, they got their new toys. They're coming off the All-Star break. Philadelphia is still going to be rocking. They're excited for the second half. They want to get a better seed. They want to win the East. The Heat are limping in. They're 26-30. They're coming to Philadelphia. Everyone just had a nice All-Star break. They were either in Miami or they were either in Miami or home. And now they're going up to Philly. No one's excited about it. It's not the second half of the season they're looking for. The 76ers are going to cover the 6 points. Too easy.
Okay. Heat v 76ers.
Yep.
The Heat just beat the Mavericks.
Right. For the All-Star break.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to find Heat 76ers a game now where they played each other, see what happened.
Okay. He's going.
Think has it not happened? Is that a possibility?
They may have not played yet, which would be surprising, which means they're going to play a lot coming down the stretch.
No, here we go. 76ers blew them out by 10.
That was in Miami.
In November. And that is the last one. Okay. So I like the 76ers to win.
Okay.
Got to find out how much the Heat are going to try. Did they have a big pump up speech like, "Hey, we're not. This season's not it."
Right.
But if you want next season to be it, then you got to finish strong.
Starts this season.
Next season starts now.
Okay.
Put in the work. So are they going to?
And I mean, they could still sneak into the playoffs if they start winning some games.
Yeah, but the 76ers.
The Heat are tied for the 8th seed in the East.
Okay, so maybe they're
so
going to
if you want that motivation, you can have it. Right now, my Sixers are the 5th seed. They're tied for the 4th seed with Boston. The Pacers are still ahead of them, even after they've lost Oladipo. They've still been playing good ball. Philly needs to get some home court. They need to get ahead of Boston if they want to do anything in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. So they're turning it on.
Haven't you picked 76ers before?
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, and you won. You picked them to be
undefeated when I picked the 76ers.
And for that reason, and I don't think you can lose 3 in a row. I don't think you're that warm yet. You were brain dead.
I was unconscious.
Yeah.
In a bad way. Not the fun unconscious.
No, yeah.
Fun unconscious.
So, for that reason,
Jake is stupid, but he's smart.
Amen, brother.
I am agreeing with you. You know, Magic Sam was watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine the other day.
Yeah.
It's a random episode, and it was the scene where the guy says Jake is stupid, but he's smart, and he was like, holy shit.
It happened. I'm about to poop.
All right, Jake's leaving because he got to go to the bathroom. I got to find Enter Sandman because I'm an idiot, and I got out of here again. Enter Sandman, a song.
Thanks for listening.
That Oddshark is a good website for telling stats. Tells you the last matchup between the two teams. Oh, nice. I just fumble around ESPN a lot. Here's Enter Sandman, a song that's just so in your face. And takes forever to get to the lyrics part. I hate it. I hate it so much. See you guys.